All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get the show started. So the main card, we had a recap of Scott D'Amore being powerbombed through a table last week. I gotta say, Impact has done a very good job with their vignettes and the recaps and all the
Recap
stuff
videos
they've
are
done
good.
to promote Hard to Kill. Good on them.
Yeah.
The first segment of the show is Josh Matthews. So they kick it to Josh Matthews, joined on Zoom, and the video was like super choppy to where he was trying to interview Bully Ray and Josh Alexander because they're not in the arena, right? So they're doing a Zoom call, a conference call. And Josh Matthews, the video just kept cutting in and out. And they aired this.
They actually,
They actually
They actually
did a Zoom. And then I quote tweeted them and I was like, hey guys, I'll talk to Garrett, but I think that we'll let you borrow our StreamYard account if you want to do this.
Yeah, you can use our StreamYard account and put that.
Yeah.
But we're buying WWE.
Yeah.
We're capturing Zoom calls that are bad. Yeah. We're not even cheating Zoom calls, but we're gonna buy WWE.
They could have done this with much better production value had they just filmed it at the arena or brought the guys in. But they can't afford the plane tickets to get them to the studio to reshoot this stuff.
Fucking A, man.
But so it started off pretty choppy, and then the internet ended up working on Josh Matthews, and so, but I'm gonna do something, JD, that I don't want to do.
Impact, where you don't believe in. Take two. Continue.
Yeah, I'm gonna compliment Bully Ray with with the promo that he did. Yeah, and look, if I'm gonna call him out when he does shit that's bad, I gotta say the shit that he does good.
He cuts a good promo.
I thought he was very effective in this promo. He actually came up and probably a little bit too effective because I felt like during this promo segment, he seemed like he was the bigger star of the two, honestly. But we as Impact fans know the real deal. But if you're outside looking in, like he just came across as far more confident. And it's just because he's, been doing it forever and he's a great promo, right? So one thing I want to compliment him on and that he's done a very good job of is putting over Josh while still saying he's going to kick Josh's ass. And he did a good job of breaking down why he wanted this to be a Full Metal Mayhem, right? It's because he goes, look, Josh, I tricked you. I fooled you into making this a Full Metal Mayhem. You know why I wanted this? Because you're like Kurt Angle. I can't beat you in a wrestling match. I can't go like that anymore. Those days are done for me. So I wanted to fight, and I wanted to fight you, Josh. Have you ever been in a Full Metal Mayhem, Josh? And it's like, no. It's like, and then he kept saying, you're one of the greatest stars in the world right now, and I can't beat you in a regular wrestling match. So he kept driving that fact home and putting a seed of doubt into the viewers who might think that this is a done deal, that Josh Alexander is winning. So I felt like this was an effective way to do things here.
Yeah. Look, I don't like this. I've never made any claims to like this, but I will never, ever say that Bully Ray can't cut a promo.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see it. Right.
Yeah.
But they've already committed to this and it's all right. My one whole thing with this entire angle is it feels like, can we please let 2001 go?
Yeah.
Why did I attack you with tables, ladders, and chairs? Because that's, we've been doing that for 20 years. That's why we'll never let that go. We can never let the Attitude Era go. Like, that's my whole thing with this. Is just, I just don't want it. That's where I mean, it's a good promo. I'm sure Josh will pull a good match out of him this weekend.
Yeah.
Goodish.
Yeah. And no, I honestly, like, I don't think it's going to be best match of the night. I'm going to surprise people with my pick later in the evening, what I think will be the best match of the night. But I think it's Josh Alexander, and for what it's worth, I think put in the right spotlight, I think Bully Ray can perform in big matches if you need him to. I think he could pull something out of his ass if you need him to. I don't want him to, right? Because I think everything he does is kind of old and out of touch and cheap. But I think in a wrestling ring, look, I think Bully Ray could still get the job done at the end of the day. So it's probably going to be a pretty decent match. So
get the job done is an interesting turn of phrase. Sure. I mean, it'll be fine. Whatever gets us to the next point. We've been here for a long time. I'm done.
Yeah, same here. And I'm excited for it to all be over.
Yep.
Next, we go to Brian Myers with Matt Cardona. He defeated Heath, who had Rhino. I think the guys worked pretty hard. The crowd was silent. I think at certain points they actually piped in crowd noise, which they're starting to do.
They
But
should.
you could tell, yeah, everybody was kind of sitting on their hands for this one. But this was just, they're getting to the tag team title match at Hard to Kill, so it was what it was.
I told you when I went and saw Emergence this past fall that Heath was over.
Yeah.
I don't know if it. I think that's over. I think that is over, not over, but I mean like done over. Like I think we're just kind of here now, and I kind of blame the promotion for not taking enough advantage of things and doing enough creatively with it to capitalize. Because this was it's kind of sucked, man. Like with the matches, I guess it was all right, but I mean, like,
yeah,
it just sucked watching it.
Well, the thing is that Heath was never really over in this promotion until he started to feud with Honor No More. And then he started to interfere in their matches, and he would just kind of do these run-ins. He hit his finisher, and he'd take off running. And the crowd popped for that, and they enjoyed it. And I thought he did a good job with it. And then once that was over, like he kind of went back down to where nobody really cared. But I thought they had something there for a little bit with him.
So it's funny you say that. I'm gonna revisit this later about this idea of needing effective heels.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that Heath is say what you want about him. The guy's likable.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's far better as a babyface than as a heel, despite some really funny stuff about 10 years ago where he was just getting crushed by legends. That was humorous. But I mean, like he's a good babyface. He's got a good everyman quality to him. And I think we're really hurting from not having a lot of great heels right now in this company.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. We go to Chris Bay and Ace Austin. They're cutting a promo about how great they have been doing in Japan, and that the company has been so happy with them that they're ready to come back and get the tag team titles. And they're kind of pumping up that 4-way tag team title match at Hard to Kill.
Are they baby faces or heels?
They were baby faces when they left because they
Yeah.
just couldn't get anybody to boo the Bullet Club. So
Yeah.
and you know what? I like them as a baby face team.
I'm okay
I
with that.
kind of dig it. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I just want to know, right?
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure where we are with them. I feel like it's been a minute since they've been here.
Well, they went to the junior tag league.
Junior tag league.
Yeah.
That was a while ago now. So I mean,
that took over. That happened over the course of 2 tapings, and for Impact, 2 tapings is 2 months.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good point. I just don't remember. It's been a while. Like the wrestling discourse moves so fast. I couldn't remember where they were in the kind of the pecking order. Hopefully they're tag team champs in the next 2 months. So,
Yeah,
hopefully.
well, I'd like to see them have a one-on-one feud with the Motor City Machine Guns. I think that'd be great.
I think it's coming.
Yeah. Next, we got some backstage shenanigans. Taya Valkyrie was like in the fetal position, laying up against the door.
What was this?
I guess she got beat up. I don't know. And then it was Tasha and Jai Vidal and Giselle, but she didn't even look beat up. She was just kind of like laying in the field. I don't know. This whole thing was weird.
I didn't get it. I'm like, what is going on here?
This was bad. So
yeah.
Josiah thinks they might be writing off Taya Valkyrie, but I don't think that's true because Taya is on Hard to Kill this weekend.
Yeah, I read his stuff before coming on. I didn't see that at all. Like, there's no rumors about. Well, I don't think anybody's coming back to WWE for a minute. To be honest,
I think there might be a little bit of a hiring freeze, and then we'll talk about Jay White coming up on Patreon. But yeah, I think that process. I think that stuff is slowing down a little bit.
There's a guy who's not a real big fan of just hiring people over there. I didn't hear anything about Taiwan. I mean, we just got her back. I mean, I don't think she's going anywhere.
No, I think they're just building up the match at Hard to Kill, or it's the Hard to Kill pre-show. So to continue to promote that, Savannah Evans defeated Rosemary. She got a little bit of help. This
could have used a lot more help, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, this match wasn't very good. No, not really much to it, but they got that. And then next we go to Witch A Woman. Taylor Wilde cut a promo putting a curse on her opponents. Oh boy.
Okay. Taylor Wilde, who I appreciate. I like her. I think she actually does have a little bit of this like Wiccanness to her. If you look at her Twitter account, it seems that she's into the weird stuff. But think about when she took on this gimmick, I thought she was going to bring a little bit more of the Wiccan side of things, like what an actual I can't believe I'm saying this. What an actual witch is in the year 2023. And instead, she's out there ooga booga cursing people. We have enough of that shit in this company. We don't need more of it.
Well, she's kind of going the stereotypical route of what you would think from like 40 years
From
ago,
like
right?
Margaret Hamilton running around on a broom. Like,
Yeah.
is she gonna put a big nose and a wart on her face next and like paint her skin green? I mean, I was really disappointed with the angle. I thought she was just gonna be like a Wiccan. I'm like, well, it's different, but whatever. If it's her, I'm okay with it. But if it's just gonna be like I'm gonna curse, you can't put curses on people because there's a guy on the other channel who puts curses on people as a gag.
Yeah.
Like that can't be your serious gimmick when another guy's making a lot of money, by the way, just like pretending to curse people.
Well,
You
maybe
know?
she's just auditioning to be like one of his valets. Maybe that's what she's trying to do. Or
Okay, I'd watch that. To be honest with you, I kind of want to see that.
yeah, or maybe a house fell on her sister and she's just pissed off about
It's Russo back. I mean, like,
it.
fuck, this sucks, man. I
Yeah.
can't.
But
God
I tell you
damn.
what doesn't suck. A video of the events over the last year that led to Mickie James' last ride and all the
This
matches
was
she went to face
great
Jordynne Grace.
promo.
Yeah.
This
This
was a
was
great
awesome.
promo package. It was really
Yeah.
good.
Grace said in the video that she didn't want to retire Mickie James, but that she was not going to sacrifice her legacy for James's career. And James said that it was do or die, and that she was going to walk out with the title. I loved it. If you guys get a chance, I highly recommend the Before the Bell, the preview show. It's like a 30-minute preview show that Impact did. It's on their YouTube channel for free, promoting Hard to Kill, and they really just went into the Josh Alexander, Bully Ray, and the Mickie James stuff. So they did a really great job. So everybody go out of your way to check that out. What wasn't great at all, the absolute opposite of great, was the design. They come out, and I guess they're gonna cut Sami Callihan's hair because Callihan wants to join the design. This thing went on forever. Diener muttered for a while, and then he cut Callahan's hair, and then it was over. It's legitimately one of the worst segments that I've seen since I've been reviewing this show. Like since I've had this podcast, it's one of the worst. It's right up there with the Rachel Ellering bullshit that we made fun of.
Forever.
Yeah.
Sammy needed a haircut. Let's just put
Yeah.
that up. Let's just put that. He's had a bad haircut for quite a while. I got nothing. This
Yeah.
segment was awful. It was
Yeah,
absolutely awful.
it was among one of the worst things I've ever seen on this show. It was embarrassing. Look, he got a 20-minute haircut. What are we doing? Like, why does anybody care? And the whole crowd
This
was
isn't
silent the
Mexico.
whole time.
This
Yeah.
isn't Mexico. No one's gonna sit around and watch a 20-minute haircut. You know?
No. Well, if he lost like a hair versus career match, okay, cool. That's at the end of a match, right? But like this was just a promo and he just cut his own hair. It's like, okay, well, what do we just sit through all that for?
He could
Nobody
have
cares.
just gone bzzz, and then cut to a commercial and come back and he was bald. And you
Yeah.
know, our brains would have filled in the rest. Like
This design stuff is just not working. It really is a shit show. It's god awful. Like I tried to give it a chance. It sucks.
I yearn for the Eric Young rambling promo at this point. Like
Yeah.
Diener, I know they like Diener. I like Diener too. He's good at what he does, but him leading a main like it is kind of a main event level heel stale. Like we're trying to do something with them. We're trying to build them. It's just I don't know, man. It ain't working. It ain't working.
No. Next we go backstage. Gia was with Gail Kim and they talked about finding someone to fill in for Scott D'Amore for the time being. So, which we'll learn who that is. So we're gonna have a new authority figure.
Don Callis.
Oh, hold on. Save that thought for.
That was a joke.
Okay. No, that's not going to be him. But save that thought for the Patreon. We're gonna toss around some ideas. And then we go to a pretty good match. Mike Bailey defeated Anthony Green. I like this Green guy, man. I've watched his matches before, but I thought they had a pretty good match. Ultimate Weapon for the 3 count from Mike Bailey, but good stuff, man. I hope they bring this guy back.
Is it me or is it crazy to say I think he's better than just doing swinger shtick? Because again, that was kind of the idea that was bounded around at first for this guy. But I think maybe I don't know. It's hard with the look to take him seriously, but I think maybe we could take him a little more seriously. I don't know. I think he's pretty good.
Because right now, with his look, it's going to be difficult because he looks so much like Swinger. Like they're doing, like they're dressing the same. They have similar hair, right? He looks like he could be Swinger's son, but he wants to also have good matches, and it's like it's kind of hard to be both, right?
There's a huge disconnect there.
You gotta pick a path here. So
Yeah.
it's like you can be the funny guy, but then go in there and do all the same matches that everybody else is having. That really is going to be against your character. So I think this guy might need to either just be a full blown wrestler or go back to being a full blown character. But right now he's gonna have trouble doing both.
Danhausen.
There you go. Danhausen, people tell me he can work. I've never seen it. All I see him is doing weird shit on the outside and doing funny stuff with Paul Walter Hausen.
And making a fortune. Number one guy at Pro Wrestling Tees is here. Fucking Danhausen. And I spent money because my kid loves Danhausen, so I had to buy him a Danhausen shirt. Like this dude, that guy is, and how many bumps has Danhausen taken in the year he's been with AEW?
I think I've maybe seen one. I don't think I've actually seen an actual match of his. Like I know he had a match on Rampage, but
he's had like 2 or 3. But I literally think he's taken 1 or 2 bumps in a year.
Good for him.
Fuck yeah.
You want to talk
Cardi.
About you want to talk about the best worker in pro wrestling? It's Danhausen.
He's
makes the most money by doing the least. Fucking amazing.
Found a character that everybody loves. He just does this. And everybody just goes crazy. He shows up and people lose their mind.
Yeah.
Like,
great stuff. Next, we go to Kevin Kelly from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He got piped in here, and he cut a promo for New Japan on AXS featuring Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay from Wrestle Kingdom 17, one of the best matches ever.
So awesome. If you're listening to this show and you have not taken the time to watch Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, please fix that. Like, I don't care what your thoughts about these two performers are. This was just a great storytelling professional wrestling match.
Mm-hmm. It's everything pro wrestling is.
I don't think you're going to have a better match than that this year. I really don't.
No. Not unless they do it again, which they might.
Forbidden Door.
Yeah. And then
there's supposed to be the rumor is Forbidden Door at in Detroit. I told Muse I'm sleeping on his couch if that happens.
Yeah. Next, the hype video aired for Josh Alexander and Bully Ray, and it was a lot of the stuff that they aired on Before the Bell from YouTube, and it was great stuff. So they did a really good job. Mm-hmm. And Alexander was particularly pretty good in this. So
I like when Josh does the like intense, heartfelt babyface thing so well. Like I think he's so much better in these things than just giving him a mic in the ring, because some guys don't excel at that, right? Like they aren't really good on the cuff, but if you can get them focused and like just one-on-one, they can be really good. And he's one of those guys. I don't know if he's a great promo, but he's like, he can be a very effective promo when in the right environment. And this was a perfect example of how to utilize Josh Alexander's unique brand of charisma.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Before the main event, the announcers ran down the card for Hard to Kill, which we'll get into in a little bit. But then they announced that Jordynne Grace and Mickie James main event. What do you think? They're main eventing.
I like one. I think it's the right call. Mickie James' possible retirement is main event worthy, and I think it's the perfect spot to have some schmozziness, some gaga.
Yeah, and Josh and Bully Ray is going to open the show, so they're going to open the show with them, and they're going to close it with the women. So
is it the first time?
I dig it.
Is it the first time in TNA Impact history that we've had the world title open a pay-per-view?
You know what? I don't know. I wouldn't know. Yeah. That's pretty weird because WWE does that a lot.
It's happened before, and when they had 2 world champions, they can do it. But this company, it's different. I don't know if they've ever done that before, especially for a pay-per-view. I'm intrigued, and I think honestly, the Mickie James Jordynne Grace story is significantly better than Bully Ray and Josh.
It really is. It really is. And then next we go to Joe Hendry. He grabbed the mic and said that his team was against Dancing Moose and his backup dancers. And then, of course, all the fans, they finally started saying something. They started chanting Dancing Moose, and they started chanting backup dancers. So they got something with this Joe Hendry stuff.
So you got a character. Like, it can't be all characters, because then you're watching the circus.
Yeah.
But if you have the right amount of characters sprinkled in with the show, right, a Joe Hendry and a Josh Alexander on the same show complement each other really well. Right?
Yeah.
Because Josh, I guess you get this heartfelt, intense, raw stuff. And then you got singing Joe Hendry getting people chanting Dancing Moose. Like, wrestling needs to be both of those things to be at its best, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And the next we go to the main event, we got Moose, Steve Macklin, and Eddie Edwards defeating Rich Swann, Jonathan Gresham, and Joe Hendry. Moose got the pinfall victory over Joe Hendry, so I get the feeling that Joe Hendry is going to be beating Moose at the pay-per-view because Hendry is the guy that they're going to get behind, man.
As well they should. I just hate the WWE booking. Well, this guy lost here, so he should probably be going over the pay-per-view. I mean, like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're both wrong and they do something else, but I just
Yeah.
it seems on the nose with the booking. But I like the match, so.
Yeah, and I would say this is probably the second best trios main event TV match of the week, behind the
Yes.
best. That
is accurate.
No, so this probably a distant second, I would say, but I thought this match was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
You know what? Yeah, I thought that Eddie Edwards and Moose looked like they could actually be a tag team. I thought they worked well together as a team. I did find the visual of Moose and Jonathan Gresham working together pretty funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I put on Twitter and I was like, oh man, somebody better not tag Gresham in this. But I was like, Gresham looks like Moose in middle school.
Gresham's tiny.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
and Moose is big. I mean, it's accurate, man. That's accurate.
And they're both, and they're both shredded and they're both bald, So it's like, it's like a mini me.
I just got them in my head doing Dr. Evil stuff.
Yeah.
Someone gets to work on that Photoshop. That's funny. It's late, folks.
It is late, so we'll go ahead. We'll finish this one up here, and then we'll head over to Patreon. So yeah, Henry got caught in the tree of woe. But Swan ran into the Introverse and saved him. Everyone started hitting big moves again. Moose hit the blind tag, speared Henry and pinned him. And then after the match, as the heels were celebrating, the lights went out, and then thunder rumbled, and it started to flicker. And Eddie Edwards looked confused. Yeah, and then the thunder rolls down, 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 and the thunder rolls, and the lightning strikes.
The whitest moment in the history of this show. Continue.
Hey, how many podcasters have ever busted out some Tupac and then busted out Garth Brooks on the same show? Never happened before. Never. Just me, guys. But yeah, so PCO is coming back soon. That's what we're looking at there. So that's cool. I want to see PCO again.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, but overall, I this is an uneventful show. I think the video packages for Hard to Kill were strong, but you could have watched those in clips on Twitter and YouTube.
Not a great go home show, man. Not a great go home show.
They didn't really have anything on the show that was just like made me want to run out and go buy this pay-per-view. And I was already in. Don't get me wrong, but there was no angle that happened that said, okay, now I got to see how this plays out on the show.
No, I almost wonder if they should have waited a week to do the thing with Scott.
I probably, yeah. Yeah.
But what's done is done.
Yep, what's done is done, and that's it for the recap portion of the show. Everybody to the free feed. So if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, head over to patreon.com/fightgamemedia. We got some more content coming right at you. But Patreon, stick around. All right, Patreon. We got a few things to talk about. There wasn't much Impact news, so I will get to some of that. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to do the Hard to Kill preview. I'm sorry, Hard to Kill preview. So
you start with that. You want to close with that?
We'll start with that, and then we'll get into some news, and then we'll be good because I think the Hard to Kill preview will do a separate video. So the Hard to Kill preview. So for the Impact World Championship match, so I got the betting odds here. Impact World Championship match. We got Josh Alexander versus Bully Ray. Josh Alexander is minus 5,000. Minus 5,000. So to win $100, you have to bet 5,000. Okay. But if you bet on Bully Ray, so Bully Ray is plus 1,000. Okay. So if you bet $100, you would win $1,000 if you bet on Bully Ray. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you put $5,000 on Josh Alexander, you would win $100, right? So you'd come back with $5,100. But if you bet $100 on Bully Ray, you would win $1,000. So Bully Ray, obviously the underdog, Josh Alexander, the favorite. Okay. So who you got, Alexander or Bully Ray? We're not actually betting. I just think the betting odds for wrestling is funny.
It's crazy. It's like betting on a movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Josh Alexander because I'm done with the show if Bully Ray is the champion. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah. Josh Alexander, same here. Impact's Knockout World Championship. We got Jordynne Grace at minus 180. and Mickie James at plus 130. So Mickie James is the underdog for this match. I'm all in on Mickie James, man. If I had a betonline.ag account, I'd put some money down on Mickie.
Are they paying us for this? Because we're plugging them a lot. Yeah, I would agree. I think there's just too much storyline potential in this. Unless Mickie really just wants to be done, it seems a little unceremonious. But yeah.
Then we got the World Tag Team titles. We got the Motor City Machine Guns at minus 200. The major players at plus 225. Ace Austin and Chris Bay at plus 350. If you're gonna bet on one match, I would bet on Austin and Bay at plus 350. Those are good odds. And then Heath and Rhino at plus 1,000. I don't think they're gonna win. If I were betting, I would bet Austin and Bay, but since I'm not, I'm gonna go Motor City Machine Guns retaining.
No, I'm gonna say Austin and Bay. I like that. I think they can pin Brian Myers and win the tag team titles, and we have a feud. You never beat us.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Okay.
It's not like that. Did I WWE myself?
No. I honestly could see Austin and Bay winning. I don't think it's that far-fetched. I just think the Guns just got the titles, so I figured they're gonna run with them for a little bit, but who knows?
It's
also Impact.
Yeah, it is also Impact, but I see Babyface in a chase maybe a little bit better. Because I think that's the match we want to see, right?
Right.
And it seems to me that the Guns would be better in the chase in that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Impact Digital Championship match. We got Joe Hendry versus Moose. Hendry's at minus 300. Moose is at plus 200. I'm going with Hendry.
The biggest digital media championship match ever.
Easily. I think they should promote it as such too.
They should. And I believe in Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe all the fucking way. Joe Hendry. He's the man.
He is.
X Division Championship. We got Trey Miguel at minus 600, so he's the favorite, and Black Taurus at plus 350.
Ain't putting the title on Black Taurus.
No, they would have. That would mean they have to respect luchadors. They don't.
Yeah, they don't do that. They don't care about luchadors. Yeah. At the same time, we're just getting started with this heel run for Trey, so I think too early.
Yeah. Oh yeah, too early. Yep, Trey all the way. Three-way number one contenders match. Actually, it's a four-way. I'm sorry, four-way. Masha Slamovich. Yeah. Masha Slamovich at minus 400. Deonna Purrazzo plus 325. Killer Kelly at plus 400. I think that one could be a dark horse. And then Taylor Wilde at plus 1400. Despite the fact that she has magic powers, she is the biggest underdog in the match. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Killer Kelly on this one. I think they're gonna try to build somebody here.
Masha, because she just put over Taylor last week. Speaking of magic powers, I have to correct our friend Josiah because he said apparently Sami Callihan has the power to teleport now in his work. Sir, Sami Callihan's been teleporting forever on this show.
Yeah. Like where have you been?
Yeah, he does this all the time. That's what the is Sami Callihan's chunky butt teleporting into the ring.
Yeah.
Come on. Sorry, that just made me think of that when you said magic powers.
Well, he can barely get into his pants, but he has no problem getting through a wormhole, apparently.
Got it. That's how he moves so fast. Traverses space and time. No longer has a bad haircut. I have to make fun of something else about Sami now.
We got Jonathan Gresham at minus 200 versus Eddie Edwards at plus 150. I'm going to Gresham here. He just got brought in, and plus PCO is going to somehow screw Eddie Edwards here.
I agree. I think Josh is new. Eddie Edwards is kind of Teflon, and we're doing something character-wise with Eddie, and I think this is I think it's going to be a great match, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think this is going to be an excellent professional wrestling match. But Jonathan Gresham.
And I think this ends up being the match of the night. I
completely agree with you.
Yeah. And then last match, we got, I think it's a false count anywhere match. It's Steve Macklin and Rich Swann. So Macklin's at minus 800 and Rich Swann is at plus 450.
I hate having to beat Rich, but I think Macklin's got to be the play.
I think Macklin and Josh is where you go next.
I agree.
I know they're going to want to go to Josh and Gresham soon, probably. I think this next pay-per-view, the February show, No Surrender, I think is what it's called, or Sacrifice, can't remember which one. But I think you go with Macklin there, and then you save the Gresham match.
I think you push the Gresham match off as long as possible. I think you put Gresham in there with Trey as soon as possible. Let Gresham win the X, and then kind of redo what you had earlier, right?
Yeah.
Like what I mean when Josh was the X Division champion and came up, I think you do the same thing with Gresham because you get a nice little parallel storytelling thing there. That's what I would do.
Yeah,